The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon and happy President's Day. Happy almost Mardi Gras. I'm here. My voice isn't. Defo is. Tom T is. We're coming to you live, a special remote edition from Copperpoint Brewing in Boynton Beach. We're a little further north. Did I say Boynton Beach?
Yes,
is that right?
Indeed.
I'm in the right place. I'm a little dizzy right now. I'm chugging.
You were in the right
Robitussin.
place, but it must have been the wrong time.
Yeah, Dr. John.
Oh, Dr. John. Speaking of Tommy T.
Yes, indeed, right?
Yeah.
So we have got our New Orleans mojo on, but I also have my Robitussin. I've been fighting this cold that's not going away. I've got the Nitro Ale Stout.
Put the Robitussin away and keep drinking
Well,
that.
I've been chugging that, and I
Keep
was
that
having
up.
a coughing jack right before the show, but I'm a gamer, and I'm going to just keep going, and hopefully talking will do the trick,
Talk
right?
to Tom.
Good. yeah.
What's the matter? You a little
Talk
scared?
to the screen.
I don't know. You with your diseases, Mayo. It's unbelievable.
Everybody would be happy to know I just took a COVID test right before the show, negative. So this is one of your, garden variety South Florida winter
No such
colds.
thing. There's no such thing.
And
anymore.
my daughter had it last week, and she loves me so much she passed it along to Dad. I'm just trying to make sure I don't give it to my mom, so I'm staying far away from her. But
Or your co-host.
or my co-host. Yeah, you know what? I could just bail and then have Lubie come in. Or we got a full star-studded lineup coming in
Got a
today.
lot of people here. I mean, for the people that are here are illustrious. I mean, you got Joe Casal, the king of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And
We've got Ken the Professor,
Ken the
who is
Professor came up here to
the
sample
king
some
of the
this great
Foundry. And
stuff.
did you see somebody left a very glowing positive
And
review?
Andy, so happy that Goran Dragic is coming back to the Heat, maybe, because he can
Andy.
resurrect the impression.
We've got the owner of Copperpoint Brewing, Matt Cox. He's going to join us in a little bit because I've been in here. This is my second time in
Yes,
here.
indeed.
And Tom occasionally cooks here. He does some of his crawfish boils and things like that. And
Yeah, man.
you're going to be here tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Mardi Gras Day. We're going to be passing a good time. We got a couple 100 pounds of crawfish and gumbo, jambalaya, crawfish etouffee. We're going to do the red beans and rice. We're going to be grilling some oysters. So
We might have to come back tomorrow, do another show.
He's been cooking up a storm. He's been doing it all weekend at his
Yeah.
other location, which is you're in the Boynton Brewing District.
Exactly.
That there's Nobo Brewing, which is a little bit south, and there's Copperpoint, which is here. I forgot the address. Do you know exactly for the people at home? If they want to find it, punch in Copperpoint Brewing. It's off the Gateway Drive exit of I-95.
Yep.
It's really simple to find
Real
once
easy
you
to
get off
find.
of Gateway. You just you go a little bit west of 95. You go up the first road, and then you'll see the signs for the Copperpoint Brewing. But all right, tell me how many years did you spend in New Orleans, Tom?
4 years I was a chef in New Orleans. I worked Mr. B's. That's right. Like when I do the barbecue shrimp, I do. You had those, I believe, the barbecue shrimp.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I worked at Cape Paul's for a little while. I worked at Carmelo's.
Gumbo, man.
It's got the
Don't
jambalaya.
handle
yeah,
the food with those snotty hands. Yeah.
I'm not eating it with my
Hey,
fingers.
Get away there.
Oh, man.
So,
I feel like
yeah.
a typhoid Mary today.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
this. I've never been so.
No one wants to be near you.
Nobody.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, socially,
No, it's okay.
morally, it's a different.
No, it's all right. Nobody. I'm all good. So, all right. So you spent some time there, but it's a lifelong love.
Yeah, I
the-
really, when I started this, you guys know the story, but bottom line is, I was over at Nobo, and I used to bring in food for free just because I like drinking there, and then the pandemic came, and then when they opened back up and you could sit down, there was a truck out there. So I said, ask the guy if I could do Sundays and Mondays. And I've always had a passion for this food. It's just stuff I love to do. And, I said, we're going to do it right. I knew what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do burgers or tacos or whatever. And nobody's doing real Cajun food. I said, boom, it's a good opportunity. I get to, I get to have a good time and cook stuff I love. So that's kind of how it all panned out.
It's I've known about you now for going on over whatever a year. You've
Year and a
reached
half,
out,
yeah,
and I
2
came
years,
up, and I love it was love at first bite. But a lot of people, it's still under the radar because, you don't have a brick and mortar and you kind of change around locations and
A little
hours.
bit. I
and-
go to Lauderdale.
and
Yeah.
sometimes you go to Lauderdale, but I have a friend who's a big time. I think he's a Louisiana, and Jim Rassel. He lives here in Boynton. He throws every year a big annual Mardi Gras party. He had it Saturday night. I wasn't feeling well enough to attend. I didn't want to get half of Boynton sick, but he had his catered from a place down in Fort Lauderdale, which I know and I love. I mean, I do like Shuck and Dive a lot.
Yeah.
But I was like, why would you go all the way down there? Why don't you just get from Tom's? He knew nothing about that you're
Wow.
here. And I told him, and I sent him a menu. He goes, oh, wow, I got to check it out. I was like, you do. So next year you might have a customer for his
We're like
big-
the little hidden gem back there, and we really do. Like I said, it's food with love. I know you've gone a little crazy over it.
No, I'd say it's fantastic. I was thinking on a drive up here because I don't like to drive anywhere anymore. And I get in a car, I'm thinking, all right, it's about a 35-minute schlep, from where I'm at, probably even longer from you. And I had designs. I know there was a little bit of a catastrophe with a lot of different factions that are here today. You, Sick, and Tommy T had a little incident this morning. But I had designs on bringing back a ton of this stuff because I was thinking I'm only driving a half hour, and that saves me 13 hours of driving to New Orleans because it's just like landing in the French Quarter there and getting some of the finest food they have. I mean, Shuck and Dive is good. A reasonable facsimile of New Orleans. Tommy T is New Orleans. That's what I would say. That's my assessment.
When they come in like yesterday or it's Saturday, we were busy, and these guys, again, we get people from Louisiana, New Orleans, even Mississippi, and look, I make my own boudin, I make my own stocks, and they're like, okay, and then they eat it, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the boudin balls are great.
Yeah, this is the real
Barbecue
deal.
shrimp. You were doing that crab dish with the crab and corn. What's that one
Oh,
called?
the makshu. Oh
Makshu,
man,
that's good stuff.
really
I've got the
good.
jambalaya here, and I confiscated it, and it's fantastic.
No, and your basics, the red beans and rice are among the finest I've ever tasted anywhere,
Yeah.
let alone outside New
Great,
Orleans.
right.
So can't say enough good things
Yeah,
about
man.
you and your food. And everybody come on out tomorrow. You'll be here at Copperpoint. What are your hours tomorrow?
I think we're gonna open about 3.
Will you be giving out beads, and will you be removing your shirt for those who give you beads?
So I am not giving out beads, nor am I removing my shirt.
Okay.
However, if you want to come up and strut,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
do
you
it.
can do your
I'm
second.
going to do it right now.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not going to do it now.
Chef Weinstein is likely to bust the place if you take your shirt off. He has no mercy, that guy. Unbelievable. Yeah, one right
Oh
up.
man!
You're
Speaking
done.
of that, did you see?
No mercy.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about more of that later. But here with Tom T. Talk about. Have you ever marched or been one of those crews that are in these Mardi Gras parades?
No, I
in New
never.
Orleans,
I
or-
never was a member of a crew. Usually there's a few steps involved in that, and you gotta get. It's like what do they call them in Philly?
It's
The-
like
the mummers.
gangs. Oh, mummers.
Mafia, yeah. No, I think
Yeah,
it's
the
called
mafia.
mafia. Yeah.
Gangs. No, the mummers. It's like
Oh, the mummers are a weird one. I don't. Did they wear the hats?
they do all kind. They dress
Yeah.
and
Are they
got
like
the
Shriners?
fancies. Yeah, they're-
Except well, I don't even know
They
what
put those
do.
weird puppet heads on.
Yeah, they
That's
do all
what's
Do they
kinds of-
drive around the little go karts?
No, those are the Shriners.
That's the
Yeah.
Shriners. Okay.
yeah, in the
Oh.
little cars.
All right. I've lost it.
You're out there, and
Robitussin's kicking in.
yeah, it is.
It's
I
all
see, and
good.
it could be that good beer.
Tell me about king cakes. You gonna have king cakes tomorrow?
I sold all my king cakes this weekend. I'm gonna try to make some more today.
Wow. What is in a king cake?
So it's basically like a cinnamon roll type thing with cinnamon and sugar and sweet dough, and
No
then
booze?
I put a little booze in the cream
if
cheese.
It's a New Orleans thing. You
Yeah,
gotta have.
you got to have something.
So I make
Yeah.
the lemon cream cheese, and I put a little bit of rum in it, and then you bake it, and there's supposed to be a baby in it, but they stopped with the babies because people were choking on them and stuff. So
Defo, what's the last time you've been in New Orleans, and what's your favorite food stop there?
Well, you know me. We've had this argument before.
Yes.
I mean, I have a lot of favorites. I do like the oysters that make it Acme, and I know Tommy agrees with me that
yeah.
even though you've condemned it as a tourist
I've
trap,
never condemned it. You
I
twist
believe they
everything
do
I
a great
say.
job with their
It-
grilled oysters. What do you think, Tommy T? Acme is a good spot.
I'm a fan of
Felix's
Acme.
is fine.
Felix,
What's it? The Ocean Grill or something?
Yeah, the Ocean Grill is pretty good.
They do a different approach.
Redfish Grill is there.
Redfish is great.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great places.
Mr. B's is one of your favorites, isn't it? Or is that
No,
Joe
I've never
Casal?
been a
You
Mr.
never-
B.
No?
I mean, I've look. The Brennans do a great job with all
Yeah,
their
yeah.
properties.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. You know me. I like getting out of the touristy zones. I go out of the French Quarter. I go out to my friend Mark DeFelice out at Pascal's Manali with his
Pascal
barbecue
Manali, yeah, man.
shrimp.
Okay.
That's out, a little bit past the Garden District, a little bit north. Clancy's is another joint that is
Clancy's
like
always
classic
solid.
neighborhood joint.
Liuza's, Parkway Bakery.
Yeah. There's all kinds of good stuff.
Oh
nestled
man,
out
Mandina's
in the neighborhood.
Well, what about our buddy Frank?
Oh, Frank
Brixton.
Brightson's around by the Riverbend area.
Probably
there.
one of the best restaurants
that's,
in the.
That's near Camellia Grill. And here's the funny
Camellia
part.
Grill.
I've been to New Orleans, I'm guessing at least 30, 40 times in my life. I've been to about 15 jazz fests.
Right.
0 Mardi Gras. I've never been there for Carnival or Mardi Gras.
I've never been there for the actual Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I say
You haven't
same
either?
thing. Yeah, never been there. No. Been there for a zillion other things, but
Mardi Gras
never
are
seen a Mardi Gras.
interesting, to say the least.
Now, is there a different kind? I mean, what's the food emphasis? You mentioned the crawfish, but does it change up any because it's Mardi Gras?
Well, here's the thing: Mardi Gras date changes, So if it's too they'll probably have crawfish, but sometimes if it's too early, because it's related to Easter and all that, then no, you don't really have as much crawfish, and it gets cold. Some of them are really cold. I was in 2 that were cold.
Wow.
And that's you get
well,
the
when
big
it shrank
cups
there,
of
it's not that
jambalaya
much
and all
fun.
that.
Yeah, walking around.
Well, it's annoying. But you're dancing and you're having a good time. As long as you're moving, it's cool.
And drunk. I mean, that
helps.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Speaking of the alcohol, so you brought some of the bread pudding, and I know
Yes.
you had a little hang up this morning, so you couldn't do a full cooking
Yeah,
display
unfortunately.
like you wanted. But this is a tremendous dessert. Do you put a little like bourbon or something
There's
in the
bourbon in the white chocolate,
in the
bourbon creme anglaise.
That's it. It's in this little tub here. That's the goodness. That's the
Yeah.
sweetness and
Yeah,
a little bit of bourbon.
and that's
in
what
there.
I make. I make Heather for Christmas.
Well, I could catch a whiff of the bourbon in it right now through the lid,
There
so
you
I
go.
might start drinking it. It might soothe my
It
throat.
might help your throat.
But
That's what she wants for Christmas every year is a quart of my chocolate sauce.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
nice.
You could have a party with that and all kinds of things.
This jambalaya is addicting, by the way.
It's
I mean,
good.
I can't stop eating it.
I
I
guess
want it off or
Mustang's not
something.
going to get any
No,
of that.
I got some.
Oh, no.
over there.
Oh,
There's
okay. He's got a little more. That's good. Tom, we got to keep this party
Yeah, man.
rolling.
one. Laissez le bon temps rien.
Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
and
I hope you feel
appreciate
better,
you
man.
Inviting us up here. It's good to get out of our little neighborhood, and we can make it up. This is
You
Dixie.
sound sexier, though. I mean,
Yeah,
than
hey,
usual.
now,
Yeah.
give me a cigarette, and I'll be whispering sweet nothings in somebody's ear
Yeah.
soon.
Ears.
This is Dixtine country up here.
Yes,
That's
it
the
is.
Delray Beach and Boynton Beach areas. We love it. We've got our stickers on the doors of
Yes, you
these
do.
different establishments here. And Tom, it's always good to see you.
Absolutely.
I don't know I guess it's time for me to start chugging something.
Me too.
Yeah,
And,
man.
you
thank
know what? I did have one duty for you.
Okay.
We got to draw a winner
Okay.
of this week's
How many people hit?
Gulfstream 10 Palms
It was
contest.
the second favorite. that
It
won the
was
race, yeah.
yes. So this week,
But they
we
were
do
very
every
close.
week.
Yeah, I entered one. I missed it.
Yeah, the the 10 Palms Sunday brunch buffet. We actually had 2 past winners go out there yesterday to redeem their prizes, and both of them had the feedback was good. Posted on Let's Eat that
Cool.
The restaurant was Canyon.
the restaurant was Canyon
Yeah,
last
yeah.
week. That is correct. It was the Southwestern restaurant that recently moved locations. Used to be-
You went there that night, didn't you?
Yeah, it used to
How
be
was
next to the Gateway Cinema, which is why that was in the clues. And of course, they're known for their prickly pear margaritas.
Okay.
And I went. It has new ownership. They moved south into what used to be my friend Giovanni's Valentino Cucina. Now it's Canyon, and it's absolutely beautiful in there. I had one of those prickly pear margaritas, and I had a nice time with Mike Linder, who's one of the
Looked like you had a lot of food.
You know what happens when I show up?
They stopped
They
bringing
start
everything.
bringing
Yeah.
plates, but we had a good time. Canyon was the answer, and the winning horse this week was I totally blanked out on the name.
It was
a
the 5-ball,
number 5 horse,
Yeah.
Todd Pletcher. Leave out Pletcher, leave on a stretcher. Second choice.
which you did yesterday also.
Yeah, and there were 7 people that had the correct restaurant Canyon, along with picking Classy Edition was the name of the horse.
Classy
because
edition. There
we're
you
classy. And number 5 horse, Todd Pletcher. 7 are in the hat.
So I
And
have to
Tom
pick a
T,
winner.
You're gonna shake him around a little and just pick
go.
one.
Yeah, I'm
slip
not
of
going to
paper.
look. I'm not
Don't
going to
look.
cheat.
Pick out one slip of paper.
Not that
and
I
we'll
can
get a
see him
winner.
anyhow.
Now I know I'm rooting for one particular who's in the hat because sometimes
because they're bringing you.
no, because she's a loyal watcher, and she also sometimes dings Tom T for herself. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we'll see what
I get
happens.
dinged.
No, but it's not. It's actually Natalie Villegas is the winner of this
all right.
week.
Yeah, Matt.
And
There you
Natalie
go.
was very sharp because I remember in her email picking the winning horse. She said, ridden by the best in the business that there is,
One
Irad
Ortiz.
Ortiz
Yeah.
Jr. So Natalie knows her horses, her
Clearly.
jockeys, and her restaurants. Congratulations, Natalie Villegas. You and a companion are going to be getting a brunch service for two. I'll be in touch with you by email. We'll pick out a date before the end of April. You'll have yourself a final time, everything included, including tax, tip, and one mimosa. How's that for a
That's
deal?
awesome.
Leave out Irad, you be feeling bad.
All right. Hey, it's time that we talk about, you know what, on a Monday. What's my place to go on?
Oh,
Monday?
well, I know you're going to be taking advantage of this. Did you ever get a date with that chick that where the guy came over and insulted you when you were sitting at the bar at
I
Runway?
have numbers. I have
Because you should take her tonight and then order an expensive bottle of wine. She'll think that you have
at
class.
Tropical Acres.
And then you
yes,
realize
indeed.
it's only
I was
half
just thinking
price.
that.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? She doesn't have to know that.
Need to
I
know
mean,
that exactly.
We gotta do
Probably
that
doesn't
on the-
watch the show.
on the QT, the down low. Tropical Acres is the place to go. Whether it's one of these half-price night for wine, or whether you're getting happy hour in the bar the first 2 hours, or just any other night of the week, it's still a great value. I know that somebody posted again on Let's Eat South Florida. They took a group of 8 there. They stuffed their faces. They had wine, and I think the total tab was like, I think it was like $300.
Very
Like
unusual.
it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you
crazy
got that
when
right.
you got that many people. Maybe it was a party of 6. I don't know, but all I know is that those kind of really great values, and you're not sacrificing anything as far as the quality of the
No.
food or the service. The Studiali family, they'll take great care of you. Jack and his sons, Joe and Jackson's, they're always there on premises, always making sure things are going right. Tropical Acres is just west of I-95 on Griffin Road, 2500 Griffin Road. You could check out their events. They have entertainment at tropicalacres.com. And tell them that the Lunchbox sent you, and I'm gonna start gargling with Robitussin.
First class joint, Tropical Acres, man.
It
First class,
certainly
as my
is.
friend the Polyman would say. And you can't go wrong. I mean, you have to love it, the consistency, the value. And then, of course, it's not like you're going into some place and you're going to be even, slightly, you'll be overwhelmed with how good the food is especially, for the value. It's absolutely fantastic.
He grew up near there. He's been
Yeah,
there.
I live right down
Tommy
the
T,
street.
man.
I
We're
live right
going
down the
to
street from there.
Jambalaya is on fire, man. It's
Thank you,
absolutely
buddy.
beautiful.
I know
as
you like
usual.
it, Johnny.
I'm gonna have to come back up here tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like to schlep, but I
it's
told a
not
lot of
that
people
bad
we
of
were
a
coming
schlep.
back
See,
with
once
stuff.
you do it once, you realize it's not that bad.
No.
Well, especially on the holiday, 95 isn't the usual torture chamber. That
Well,
It always has its moments.
Yeah, it does have
regardless.
its
True
moments,
that, yeah.
but,
It has its moments where you're either about to crash or you're wondering if I'm ever going to get there.
I had one of those tailgaters today, and I don't know whether to just slam on my brakes or let him go around me and then go.
Depends how
tailgate
good your
me.
insurance is. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. That is very true.
All right, we're going to come back with more. What do we have now? Now we have the gentleman with the food truck.
We're gonna
Copper
eat
City
some of the
Brewery.
food from the food truck. We're gonna talk to Matt Cox, who's the owner here at.
You got to bring on a
Copperpoint Brewing.
professor from
We're
the
gonna
Foundry.
talk Joe. He's
Yeah.
a New Orleans guy. We'll talk Mardi Gras.
Very
with him,
favorable
and
review
we'll
of the
talk
Foundry
Ken.
on Let's Eat
We'll
South
get
Florida.
everybody in here
Oh.
because I'll stop talking now because my voice is shot.
You sound good. No, I've never heard you sound this good, honestly.
All right, we're back.
You would ought to work on
Oh
that.
my God. It's getting
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent.
Lunchbox. I'm Mike Mayo, fighting a frog in my throat and chest cold, but that's okay.
You sound like Ferdy Pacheco today.
That's all right. The fight.
I love working with Ferdy.
It sounds more like an iguana than a
Jeff
frog.
Defo. Now we're joined by Ken, the Professor Jacobson. We're at Copperpoint Brewing up in Boynton Beach. It's a road show today, a combined mixed up holiday. We got President's Day. We've got Mardi Gras tomorrow, the whole Mardi Gras Carnival celebration this weekend. We had Tom T on. And now, before we're going to talk to, I guess in the next segment, hopefully talk and chat with Matt Cox, who's the owner of Copperpoint Brewing, about some of his brews.
This beer is great, by the way.
Right now we're munching on, there was a food truck out here today, and a little bit unusual, but that's what we like here on the Lunchbox. It's called Babsie's Kitchen, and not your usual fusion. It's Caribbean, Polish, American. I got the backstory here, Ken.
It's very eclectic, but it's good.
And I'm munching on some pierogies, which everybody loves a good pierogi. It's a dumpling that's filled with potatoes and sauteed onions and some, in butter.
Delicious.
And very comforting Polish comfort food. The owner, Gary, is Polish. Babsi means grandma in Polish, so his kids call his mom Babsi. So Babsi's kitchen is a grandma's kitchen, but Gary is the proprietor. He's Polish. And his wife, of course, is Dominican. So we have pierogies, and I have pernil, which is the shredded roast pork on
It's
a
like
sandwich.
every South Florida family story all in one there. And as Lubie said when we pulled up, he's like, I forget that Eastern European food and Jewish food are basically the same food. So he's got like a stuffed
Pretty good Lubie
cabbage
impression
dish
there.
there.
Oh, yeah.
I hang around with him enough. I should have
Yeah,
the voice down by now. The pierogies are excellent. He's got a couple, he calls them pastelitos. It's kind of like once again, a fusion between the empanada and the pastelito. I got to be honest. The sweet pastelito is as good as I've had anywhere down here.
It has
Nice.
guava in
Really,
it.
I guess the guava and the cheese. Yeah.
Yeah. And no, it's good. I love all these little food trucks and food
Agreed.
incubators. They're for people who haven't amassed the savings yet to get into a brick and mortar. It's the cheapest way for entry, and there's enough to go around. There's these pockets of industrial areas so that it doesn't undercut any of the local, the brick and mortars, because these people come around for underserved areas where people aren't necessarily going to go out for a sit down lunch anyway.
By the way, can I do a shout out that you guys reminded me of
Yeah,
in the
go
first
ahead.
segment? Because
Sure.
you called out Canyon.
Yeah.
Which was, I liked the place. I didn't love it the way some people loved it.
Yeah.
In the past,
The lovely Gia, my friend, could not get enough of the prickly pear margarita, so I ended up there a bunch. The place that is now in that space, Gastrotech,
Yeah.
Good.
from the couple of times I've been there, they could use the shout out. You should go, particularly if
Yep.
you're a fan of
Of good
top
food.
level cocktails, because they do a great job at the bar. Everything I've had, and then they do food specials every night. I've had the elk once. It was
Elk, wow.
really fantastic. Not cheap, but definitely worth it value wise, and definitely a place in Fort Lauderdale to check out. Gastrotech took Canyon spot right next to the Gateway Theater, so you can go there, catch a meal, catch a movie. I definitely worth a shout out to
I
them.
concur. I've been there twice at the beginning of COVID because they had that little outdoor seating on the alleyway there. The food is inventive. The chef there, I think it's the same chef since the beginning when they opened, he used to work for my friend Giovanni at Valentino. Very good technique, very interesting, different dishes.
Yep.
And like you said, both the
Whoever's running their bar program
Cock-
too really does an excellent job, because the cocktail program is fantastic.
cocktails and the cuisine, both refined, and Gastrotech. I don't love the name, and I was
I agree.
the owner, Gary. I kind of, I floated this as a topic once in the Let's Eat group. Is like sometimes a name can, make or break a place. Gastrotech. First of all, it sounds like you have some sort of digestive
Yeah.
issue.
Sounds like a health
combined
clinic,
with
yeah.
the discotheque.
Yeah.
with Studio
It
54.
sounds like it's going to turn into a German club at midnight, and there's going to be a bunch of weirdos who are
Right.
into strange
Yeah,
pornography.
Kraftwerk or-
Yeah.
gonna,
Falco might
Don't make me
randomly
laugh, 'cause
show
I
up
might
at 1
wanna-
o'clock in the morning.
Does it look the same as it was when it
Yeah,
was Canyon?
Yes.
They've kept it mostly the same. It's
Because
very,
that was kind of a cozy
a
environment.
cozy
to have there, right?
environment.
Yeah,
I recommend that. I also recommend that you go check out Canyon again on the south side. I mean,
I haven't
the-
gotten there yet, but I plan
the
to.
new they've not the way they've fixed up the entire restaurant is now Canyon. First they were dividing it between another Italian concept and this, and it's all Canyon. It's all decorated. That back room that is kind of a more industrialized, but the bar area there is also really nice and happening. And then they've got now in that far back corner that used to be like one of those dining in the dark lobe setups, but now they've turned it into kind of like not a speakeasy, but kind of like a hidden high-end mezcal tequila bar, but it was like really cozy in there, and they have a couple of tables in there with full service. So I suggest checking out Canyon. I was impressed.
I always liked Canyon. I just feel like Canyon was like one of those places, anytime you heard of it, everybody raved about how fantastic it was, so it doesn't really need the pub. Canyon was always great. But like I said, the place that took its physical space, very underrated in my opinion, and no one seems to talk about it.
Yeah, that's good to know. And you got a little bit of love there on the Let's Eat group this weekend. Somebody went in with a family and went to the Foundry and had a fantastic time, and they were just talking about
go for a brunch or dinner.
I think it was a dinner, and they were all raving about both the food and the service. And again, not to belabor any points, but Houston's once again taking it on the chin this morning.
No comment.
Right across the street. This time the problem is, and there's, we've heard all kinds of problems at Houston's. Not to, I mean, look, I know I'm never going to be getting them as a sponsor, but they did a really good job for a really long time, but they're alienating more and more of their customers.
Did someone show up in a collared shirt of the wrong color?
Apparently now they've gotten rid of one of their
That mauve shirt is a little too much, sir. Please leave.
Come in there in a Bears jersey, you end up in the Intercoastal. It's crazy.
This gentleman who posted today on the group, basically, besides having the usual sticker shock at some of the prices, I think their filet mignon now is up to $64. And you're not talking about going into a white tablecloth steakhouse. You're going into a Houston's, which is supposed to be more, contemporary casual. But they, besides the sticker shock at that, they no longer offer in the evenings one of their favorite side dishes, which was the baked potato. And I think it was also, I don't know if it was a double stuffed potato.
It's a little tough to do a baked potato these days. You got to throw the potato in the oven, leave it in there for an hour. I mean,
sometimes you got to scoop it up and whip it up again and put all the.
It's the wrapping it in the tinfoil.
How do you scratch
a
baked potato from the menu? Come on.
Well, it's not
if you were known for it.
It's not just any potato, Jeff. It's a Houston special double.
I used to like Houston's, but and actually when Ken became a part of the Foundry, I was thinking, geez, how's this place that's not on the Intercoastal, directly across the street from a very popular restaurant going to gain a following? Well, obviously. They had a great variety of food there. They did an excellent job preparing all kinds of good stuff.
We get you out a couple dollars cheaper.
And, the price point is, I would say probably not even 60% of what you're getting whacked for at Houston.
I don't want to do the percentages. We'll get you out for a couple bucks. Look, I mean, I feel like part of the joy of our place is that we
shoot a cannon through there now.
Good food at a truly casual environment. Yeah. So if you are next door, again, not going to mention the name, and you get kicked out for dress code, as my friend PC has been.
Oh, well, he's a natural,
in the past.
Yeah. Tell him to put on a pair of shorts on next time he goes in there. Yeah.
Come on over next door, and we will probably serve you. Again, we don't have some of the restrictions. Our competitors across the street does.
They're not as uptight.
I've said it before. I'm not a huge fan.
So you're still in the hospitality business and the people-pleasing business as opposed to the house of no? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
not
honestly,
to put words in your mouth.
Like
5 people show up at the Foundry. You don't tell them to go
house
home.
Of no. Can I have this? No.
I mean,
Can
honestly,
I have a baked potato? No. Can I have a Bloody Mary on a weekday? No.
If it's the night of a Miami Heat game and you show up in a Heat jersey, we'll serve you food.
Yeah,
that's
they
it.
Probably won't.
Not
next
just
door.
They would throw Tyler Hero out if he just came in after the game, didn't have time to change.
I think they'd throw Dwayne Wade out, and the county was named after it.
And not just food at the Foundry.
LeBron could probably get in. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe, He's the all-time leading scorer now. So
good food at the Foundry. One of the best burgers in town.
I'm glad you said that. I am a big fan of our burger.
I'm a big fan of your burger. You're still doing it with the Gruyere and all that stuff.
That is the Boulevard burger, which that's a good one too. Mm-hmm. I also just like the plain old Foundry burger.
I think it's burger. All right, I got to get in there.
It's
been a while since I had a burger there, and I know that the Boulevard burger with the Gruyere and the sautéed onions, that was awesome. That's a great burger. Good place, and that's why we like hanging out with people who do good work in the kitchens. We got Tom T. He's chowing down on the pernil, is it?
Who by the way, again, I heard the comp thrown out in the first segment. I'm a shuck and dive fan, and Tom T's food is just flat out more New Orleans and better.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna say. And look,
I don't-
it's worth, if you're like me and you're kind of halfway in between, it's worth the drive to go north, even though everybody for some reason gravitates up.
and
I'm not criticizing Stosh and Chuck and Dive. He's a great guy. They got a great
it's a good
place.
spot. Yeah.
Little bit more authentic up here in Boynton.
the flavor you can taste the love, you can taste it in the roux and the bases and all that stuff.
We might have to get Tom to do a fried chicken like they do on Sundays over there. That I would be anxious to taste is
I would
a
imagine
Tom
he'd
T
do
fried
it in
chicken
bacon
dinner.
fat. I would imagine that would have to be the standard. Hey, it's time for another break. We got to talk about our newest sponsor, and we're going to be there later this week.
When are we
Defo.
going there? Delaware.
Thursday is
Okay.
the day where we're going to be setting up shop, and I don't know. I think we're going to be outside. There's a little area that on the entranceway we'll have a little power cord, a little table, and a little display of some of their fine, fantastic fish and seafood. You know it. It's been there a long time, since 1951, over 70 years. The home of freshness. We're talking about Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. It's just south of Sterling Road there, right across the street from one of Defoe's favorite places, the old Seminole Bingo Parlor, now known as Seminole Classic.
Nothing like
Casino.
walking into a place where you're ensconced in cigarette smoke.
Yeah, no,
The minute you walk in,
And
that would be
playing
the
bingo.
casino, not the market. There's no
Yeah.
smoking in the market. The only thing you'll smell there is the freshness of everything in the display cases. And actually, you don't even smell it, because when you have the fresh fish, it's on ice and it smells good. It's they've got the place to go for not just the fish, poultry, steaks, house-made sausages, and of course they've got the great selection of fish, seafood, all varieties of Florida stone crabs. I'm hoping that we're going to be sampling some this Thursday and get a demonstration on the proper way to crack and eat a stone crab. A lot of people. Do you serve them at the foundry? at
No,
all?
we do not do stone crab.
Okay. All right. Well, that
It's a little bit upscale for our
that
marketplace.
solves that problem, because I know a lot of people, if they're tourists, they don't know how to get all the meat out of it, and they end up getting the shells everywhere. And there's a proper way you could do it where you get nothing but good, succulent, sweet meat. And we'll be stopping over there Thursday. Come on by if you're around. We'll go any day. They're open 7 days.
Mike, can I throw out one thing
yes.
before we go? 'Cause
Yes.
I watched your shows last week, and
Yep.
the Channel 10 guy
Yeah.
really made me very, very angry
Yes. Yes.
as a restaurant owner.
Okay.
And honestly, as someone who's dabbled in the field of journalism, it made me angry as a journalist. I didn't like the fact that it was like, well, as long as the state says we could do whatever the hell we want to do, so we're just gonna. He really pissed me off.
We appreciate that
So I
Jeff Weinstein
understand-
came on the show. He answered
Sure.
all our questions. He answered them in a way that was a little bit surprising.
Surprisingly pompous.
Yeah. Very
and-
cold. Very cold.
And
That one and done thing I thought was way off base. I mean,
I will tell you, as a fellow restaurant owner, it gave me a lot of sympathy for the guy at the pizza. Lubie told me you're planning to set up a visit to the Pizza Guy's restaurant. Watch for Mike Esposito's, New York.
Esposito's.
Watch
yes.
for Mike to promo it. When it happens, let me know. I will be there.
let's all go.
Okay.
Let's eat
He's
South Florida.
Joe is getting
and
a lot of support.
Joe's in.
Let's eat South
Eddie's
Florida.
in.
And Lunchbox viewers, I will pick up a $300 tab.
Tommy
Wow.
T's in.
Pizzas and
I'll-
appetizers
I'll
on
have
me.
That, stuffed, not the
to-
stuffed. I'll have the veal chop
No,
parmesan.
I want all the
bone,
people here to
please.
come
Yeah.
out and try the guy's place. So
All right.
the tab
Somebody-
is on me if we go out there. Listen to the show to set it up, because screw that guy from Channel 10. He really, really aggravated me.
I think we juggle a bunch of rubber roaches
and that's
right
one
on the
man's
show.
opinion.
Jeff.
But I
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
to, the feedback I got from a lot of people, they were surprised at the fact that the lack of context. That Jeff doesn't think it's important to put in that it's a guy's
Right.
first offense in 20 years.
20
So,
years.
there must
Yeah.
be a reason, because state
And-
inspectors never do
And
anything
it's
wrong.
like,
Yeah,
that to
right.
me is very.
State inspectors don't have a bad day.
To me, that's short-sighted and it's sensationalistic and it's just not fair.
It's wrong.
So-
I agree,
Yeah,
100%.
it's flat
That's-
out wrong.
This is what aggravated me
and
about it.
somebody in the group, there was a review in the bin of Esposito's. I had to reject it because they didn't put the town. You always got to put the city. It's in Davie. So hopefully they resubmitted it, but they had a good experience at Esposito's yesterday. They had some
good.
pizza
And
and
you
stuff.
set it up,
So-
and I will pay the tab
That
for
guy came
anybody
off as a
who
real
watches
gentleman.
the Lunchbox
Yeah.
to come out and have pizza, because I want people to go out and try there.
That is some
And
offer
they
from the
portrayed him as a
professor.
wacko owner, and he turned out to be just a real good down
Well, he had a bad day, and
guy, yeah.
he was obviously triggered by events that happened, both the state shutting him down a couple of days prior, and then the camera crew showing up in the way that it did, and it was handled. So anyway, that's thank you for the 2 cents.
Good job there, Professor. Well said.
Delaware Chicken and Seafood. Again, you go there, and they're open 7 days.
Tell them Mayo sent you.
Make sure, well, go to DelawareChicken.com. That's their website, DelawareChicken.com. You get all their weekly specials, along with they have the daily catch, what's in fresh. You can check that out on the website. Again, quality, value, freshness. That's the Delaware way. Tell them
Mike Mayo sent you.
that's it.
And he's going to send you back to the lunchbox. Now, the gentleman with the food truck, I think, is going to join us.
Yeah, Gary, we got.
And we have
Gary,
the owner
sure, come on in.
of Copper City Brewery.
We'll see.
Who
I
does
wanted to
some
get
excellent
Josie
beers,
on.
by the way.
This
Blood
beer
Orange
was great.
Wit
I'm
was
not a craft beer guy at all, but this was
we
great.
got a parade of all-stars today on the Lunchbox. We'll be back after these words with the next guest.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
We're back on the Lunchbox. It's a Monday holiday edition. We're celebrating President's Day. We're celebrating Mardi Gras. Tomorrow's Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday. Lent begins on Wednesday, so get in that sinning right now. And now on the Lunchbox, we're joined at Copperpoint Brewing in Boynton Beach by Gary, who is the owner-operator of the food truck that's parked outside today. It's called Babsie's Kitchen?
Babsie's Kitchen.
Babsie. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Babsie's Kitchen. When did you start it, and what is it? It says Caribbean, Polish, American, just like you see every day.
Natural combination. Think about it all the time.
So the concept for Babsie's Kitchen actually came from my mother's kitchen.
Okay.
Babcie means grandma in Polish. That's what my daughters call my mother as their grandmother.
Yep.
And as a young boy, that's where I really learned to love cooking. And I've been in the food business most of my adult life.
Nice.
And
where are you from originally? Around
Pennsylvania.
Here? Pennsylvania. Okay.
Northeastern Pennsylvania.
All right. Oh, good.
And in August of last year, my wife, who is from the Dominican Republic,
and her name is
Deja.
Deja. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful name.
She couldn't be with us today. She's working her day job.
Okay.
We were just sitting around the house, and we said, let's
start a food
let's
truck.
do a food truck. Yeah. So we started shopping around. We found a pre-owned unit. We negotiated a deal, went through all the licensing with the state, inspections, and
here you are.
And here we are. We started.
So you make the rounds at some of these local breweries in in Palm Beach area?
Yeah. So the three that we frequent is here at Copperpoint. You'll find us at Saltwater and Delray,
right? And
Civil Society in West Palm.
You must know Joe. He goes to Saltwater with his dog Tasso. It's a beautiful little dachshund, but
he looks familiar.
He left the dog at home. But meanwhile, so your menu is interesting because you've got some, standard American items like hot dogs and hamburgers, but you also have things like the the Dominican pernil sandwich, which is the roasted pork, right?
Yep.
And so you got pernil and you got pierogies, which is the classic Polish dumpling comfort food. And I'm enjoying one right now. Tell us what's in your pierogies.
Those are potato and cheddar cheese, and they're sautéed in butter and onions. That's what really.
Did you get to
Fantastic.
have this yet?
I downed one in 1 second. I mean, I could eat 20 more. They were that good.
We have plenty more if you want more.
All right. Yeah. No, those are
And it's
fantastic.
not a lunchbox unless your host is stuffing his face. And it feels like my throat is, I don't want to give me a Kanahara here, but
You get
clearing
better
up.
as you consume more food,
Mhm.
which
Yep.
we've noticed that about you on the show, Michael.
It's like
and that's
Popeye
fine.
and spinach. You just give me some good buttery pierogi and I'm good. That's delicious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I get those remnants out of my mouth. I want to ask you, you've basically clung to just having Dominican items, having Polish items. Have you thought about mixing it up and maybe doing like a pierogi stuffed with pernil or doing a blend, like a fusion mashup thing?
Well, my wife is actually dreaming up some new pastelito combinations. Right now, we do guava and cheese and a beef and cheese. She's done some seasoned chicken with cheese. So there's a lot of different combinations we could do there. And with the pierogies, there's a lot of different directions we could
Sky's
go.
the limit. And you got stuffed cabbage, I see also, right? That's
Yes,
on the
that's
menu?
my mother's recipe. She taught me how to make that, so I hand make those.
Oh, nice. Do you use raisins in the mix, or is it just straight up savory beef?
It's a
and so-
beef pork mixture seasoned with some onions, salt, pepper, and garlic.
Okay, very good.
Mad respect for anybody with a food truck. How tough was it to get acclimated in the business, learn the different things, ins and outs, so you could profit from doing this?
Well, we're still learning as we go.
Okay.
The first time out was a learning experience and a bit of a struggle, but each time you learn more. And if you work in a freestanding restaurant or a restaurant on wheels, efficiency and ergonomics is really important in any successful kitchen. So I've been
wasted space.
tapping into my experience to try to make it.
Now, do you do
better.
a lot of festivals or shows, where they have groups of food trucks?
Well,
Is that worthwhile?
They are. We're looking at some food truck invasions. We're working on. Actually, we're going through the vetting process with an organization
So
right now.
I guess that's one of the hurdles as a new truck. You have to kind of establish yourself and get cleared and get so that you could get into some of these bigger events. Like I know cities have them. I think Jupiter used to have one over Abaco or that whole stadium area. Right. So it's a process, right?
Yes,
They got one of your favorite places, Dania Highlight, coming up.
Yeah, they have
a bunch of food trucks
rally down in my neighborhood down in
Pompano
Broward.
Beach, it's very popular. We see, occasionally big arrays of food trucks.
But the cost of gas now is hard on these guys. You can't go that far, but you are willing to travel, I guess. Yeah.
If there's money to be made, we travel.
A tank of gas is worth it, depending what's
park
at the
outside
end
of our
rainbow.
local stadiums. A block away, you'd kill them.
You would make it.
Sure, great stuff though. By the way,
thank you so much for stopping by the Lunchbox, and we'll be sure to check you out when you're in the neighborhood breweries here up in the Boynton and Delray areas.
Awesome.
Gary.
I appreciate you having me
Appreciate
on.
it. Bob
hey,
Cheese
thanks so
Kitchen.
much. Appreciate it, man. Great
And,
food. Thank you.
yeah,
Great job.
Both of you.
Good job. I love the pierogies, and I'm going to be hitting that pernil sandwich next, and I might have to have one of those pastelitos because Ken,
the professor, gave it a ringing
he's
endorsement.
a restaurateur,
Unbelievable,
and
yeah.
he proclaimed your guava cheese one of the best he's had. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thanks a
Great.
lot.
Hey, it's time to talk about
What
Visit
else you
Lauderdale.
hawking here on the show?
Oh, I feel
Unbelievable.
like Merv Griffin today. It's like just the
You're like
parade
Joe
of-
Rose, man,
it's
of the
just-
food. It's great.
Speaking of Joe Rose, I came upon an old clip today because I was fishing around on YouTube with some Neil Rogers clips and stuff, and I found that first show of when Neil came first on WQAM, and he joined the first team for like 15 minutes.
A monumental occasion.
And it was Joe Rose and Goldstein, but you were out that day or week.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't join the first team there right away.
They
actually,
mentioned you, but they said something
oh,
that
okay.
you were on the. I don't know. It was you were away or something.
Away is a nice way of putting it. No, that never happened. I managed to stave that off with good attorney work, but nonetheless.
There was talk of rehab or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, well, no, that was
188
always Joe's
admitted,
joke. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was checking into a hotel in Las Vegas, and anytime I went on vacation, Joe would say I was in like some kind of gambling rehab. So I'm online checking into the MGM Grand because I covered a lot of fights out there, and I would spend a few days at a time in Vegas. And a guy behind me online goes, What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in rehab. And he literally thought that I was in gambling rehab,
Right.
and I had escaped and gotten somehow a suite of rooms at the MGM.
Did they let? Yeah, they still let you check in. You weren't on any.
With no problem.
exclusion
Yeah, I
lists,
mean,
or that's good.
that's the beauty of it. You're going to find this out that people, when you're in this form of media, they think they know more about you than you know about yourself.
Yeah.
So they'll tell you, listen, Mayo, I know you like this, and you'll say, no, I never had that in my life, and you go, no, I know you like it. And they become authorities on the people that they listen
I
to.
love when people fill in the blanks because I got a lot of blanks.
Speaking of blanks, man, look at
this.
this.
The Robitussin.
This
But
guy never
here we
draws
go
a blank.
on the
Joe
show
Casal.
for our Mardi Gras special. Joe Cassell, a New Orleans, he's a New Orleans lover. But you worked. I mean, you worked there, or you
Tom,
never lived there.
No,
right?
have not lived there yet. But
I thought you did.
No, but it is.
He's
my
just spent so much time
sanctuary.
there. It's
my
become-
home away from home. Been
Yeah.
there over 100 times since
Over
the
100.
first time I've been there in 1993.
I'm
I'll tell you a funny story of that. First time I was in New Orleans, I'd never been there. I land. I was told to go to this place called Uglages.
Uglages.
Remember Uglages?
Yeah, Uglages.
Great fried food and all that. You go there, but they said, look, it's going to be a line. You're going to have to be patient. I said, okay. I get in line. Who's 4 people ahead of me in line? Martha Stewart. So I said, well, this may be pretty good. And it was like sensational.
Did she have any stock tips for you?
No.
Was this before or
And,
after?
That was a tough beat.
Before or after she went away for a little while.
But yeah.
But,
but
Michael,
that
I mean,
was
somebody tells you, hey, you better unload this stock today. It's going to go down to zero. Well, what are you going to do?
I'm
Say,
unloading it.
oh, I can't
Right.
do that. It's,
They're
it's
illegal.
against the law.
No,
You're unloading it, of course.
I got to tell you, this place is really this is
Nice,
the first time
yeah.
I've
You haven't been
here.
in here? Okay.
It's really cool. But the late great Walter Wolfman Washington is being played in the background here. This is the
he's
guy that gets
recognizing
New
the
Orleans.
food.
He was
Okay. I mean,
playing
the music
Wolfman
soundtrack.
Washington.
Yep.
Very strong.
Used to see him at the Maple Leaf.
At the Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
He just passed away from throat cancer.
Oh, that's a
awesome.
shame. There's so
Yep.
too many people are dropping like flies.
Yeah,
Rest in
I
peace,
know.
Richard Belzer. I
Yeah.
remember when I was young and just of age, I would go into some of the comedy clubs in New York. Dangerfields was on the Upper East Side, and Belzer used to be there all the time back in the day, along with Richard Lewis and some of the great comics.
One of these psychotic comics, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, on to happier talk, which is tomorrow. Have you been in New Orleans for
I
a
have
Mardi
never
Gras?
been to
So
Mardi
you're like
Gras
me. You're just
because
a
Yeah,
jazz
three of
fest
us
for
guy.
me, it always fell at the tough time of year. You're a sports agent in February. You really can't tell your clients, hey, I got to go to Mardi Gras. You get ready for the draft. I get back to you in a week or so. So it was always a little tough for me to get away from Mardi Gras. But that's a bucket list thing. I mean, all my friends in New Orleans posting all their pictures and everything they're doing. And you go, man, I got to get there one day. But I got to bring one of the things I'm going to do maybe next year is bring Tasso to the Barkus. Barkus is a dog crew in New Orleans. They have a parade. I said, I think I bring Tasso to the dog parade.
You can
next
put
year,
on his
him in the
Saints
parade,
jersey,
put him
and
on
his
his Saints
crown,
jersey, the
and
whole
he'll
deal.
be the
Yeah,
leader
see?
of the
You
crew.
can put him in a Saints jersey. There he is,
Yep,
and he's
there
ready
you
to
go.
roll.
The world famous Tasso, named after the
Tasso
Louisiana
ham.
ham.
He's a
and-
rescue from New Orleans who named him after a Cajun
yeah,
ham.
and he's been the light of your life. Your ride and die.
Yep,
your
he's
little
my
companion.
who
Who
is
is
the guy.
now the unofficial mayor of Delray Beach.
Yes.
Anytime I'm at one of those 16 Best of Delray events,
Dog holds courts.
then Tasso shows up and he rules the roost. It's
You look in the
tremendous.
corner and there he is. Can I take a picture with your dog? It's like,
so
I
you're
had this dog when I was 18 years old. The life I could have had.
so besides being a sports guy and former tennis agent, and you also are a restaurateur, you had a hand in a restaurant that was in Delray for a while, and now you just like to be a home chef. Are you preparing anything special tomorrow for Mardi Gras, or are you going to just come out
No,
here
I'm
to
actually
Tom
going out
T
to dinner with friends tomorrow.
Okay.
I did some New Orleans style food a little while ago, not maybe a week or two ago. I kind of rotated in and out between different dishes, but I don't do a special Mardi Gras thing because I don't have a lot of people around.
Well, are you
who
going to
are
come out
really
here
into
for
it.
lunch if Tom T is up
Did
here?
you bring any
I might-
chili, by the way, from Mike?
The
that you
chili
made
was strong.
yesterday, so
Yeah,
that you'll
I
find
mean,
out
we got to get
what
you off.
chili
We
is?
got to
Yeah,
wing you
yeah.
off the skyline and
Oh,
get you
my
the good stuff.
Don't you harsh my mellow. Again, it's the hill I'm willing to die on. A big,
Defo, you'll
sloppy,
appreciate
wet
this.
four-way
It's
mountain
such
of
nonsense.
skyline.
You will
Listen
appreciate
to him. He's
this
babbling. He
skyline.
doesn't even know what to say.
You will appreciate this skyline story. I'm
Yeah.
working a Bengals Browns game probably 10 years ago in Cincinnati. It's a 1 o'clock start. Skyline is the sponsor of media dining.
Oh, great.
11:30, they roll out.
And is
media dining.
Imodium the sponsor of halftime?
Right. And this guy gets in line and he takes a load of pasta. It just was a mountain.
Yeah.
And then put the mountain of Skyline
behind
chili.
Lubie?
I had never seen this before. And then put a mountain of Swiss cheese. You know what it looked like? Remember in school, you'd have those
Yeah.
chemistry experiments where you'd make the thing, and it was
plume
just
would
this
come up, yeah.
mountain at like 11:30. So I'm looking at him and going, you're going to eat that and stay awake for the game? I mean, how is that going
Never
to
mind
work?
staying awake, staying out of the men's.
Oh my
room.
God.
Yeah.
I never saw anything like it.
Well,
The one thing they don't have the menu that I would appreciate, they have the 3-way, the 4-way, the 5-way, and I like the no-way.
see, you're gonna
I
harsh on
keep
it.
telling Mayo to order the no-way.
So I put up on the group this past weekend
You got
it was a
1,000
picture
comments.
from my visit last weekend. It was actually the previous Saturday I went out there, and I just I just am reminded, like, I'm done with calling it a guilty pleasure. I'm done with people like saying that whatever, that it's garbage or dreck. I love the stuff. I'm proud to say it. I've shouted it from the rooftops. I love Skyline chili. I love going in there and getting a wet 4-way with onions. The one that is in Sunrise on
You are
University.
You know,
Brave
it comes out as a wet 4-way.
Tony Doyle
And you can smell the
and
onions
his
too.
wife,
yeah.
they
There's-
work there every day. They're the owners, and they don't just pawn
I'll
it off
tell you
to
what,
some workers.
you really should
They're
get a
in
Medal
there.
of Honor for that bravery.
And,
Yeah.
and this thing
It's a
triggered,
character flaw. It's not a guilty pleasure.
it triggered
It's
a
ridiculous.
response that got 60,000 views, 1,000 likes,
Because people can't believe it.
600 comments. And most of them are like saying, yeah, I'm going right now. So and I got a text from a buddy that works for the Memorial Hospital System in South
And he
Broward.
said you have a room anytime.
They have a new, they
The
have a
Mayo
new,
Suite.
a new CEO from Ohio who didn't realize there was a Skyline down here. He saw my post. He immediately went on Saturday to Skyline.
And he resigned on Sunday.
No, he checked in.
He's still feeling the effects. Yeah.
He's CEO of Memorial Hospital System. Is now, he found it and he went there.
I
And
think
I'm-
they serve that at Memorial. You know,
Yeah.
it's a downgrade from the usual hospital.
We'll have
food.
to ask Andy.
Yeah.
He's the expert on hospital.
And he's
cuisine.
eating so much of that
Oh,
Jello with the
man.
one cherry
All
in
right,
it, the
my
yellow
voice is
Jello.
going again. Hey, let me
Skyline
talk
is welcome.
a little
yeah.
bit about our friend Nikki Mohan, Visit Lauderdale. We're going to be doing our next Visit Lauderdale edition with her next Tuesday, the 28th of February, celebrating Black History Month and Black Heritage with Warren Thompson, who owns, and he just started this Willie T's Seafood Shack. He's a major national restaurateur started in the DC area, but he lives here now, and he's partners in Canyon with Mike Linder and a bunch of other restaurants. But he also owns and operates the Matchbox brand, the Big Buns Burger brand. They're all over the country now. And Warren is going to be talking about his story. He's become this tremendously successful entrepreneur, restaurateur. But he started this Willie T Seafood Shack. Willie T was his grandfather, who was a janitor in the hills of Virginia, who went fishing and loved catching fish and cooking fish. His great-grandfather was a slave and then became a free man and became an educator. He has an interesting backstory. We're going to be talking about all of that and his success and how, there is still, this is the land of opportunity, the United States. And that's what we love to feature on the Visit Lauderdale segments. All these restaurateurs, the mom and pop shops, and also the ones that grow into big corporations with dozens of restaurants around the country. And that's the kind of thing you can find all over Broward County. Greater Fort Lauderdale, we welcome everyone under the sun, every flavor under the sun. And it's from dockside dining with breathtaking views, lively cafes along Las Olas, award-winning chefs like our man Tim and Ballou at the Catherine in Fort Lauderdale. It's a world-class culinary scene waiting in Greater Fort Lauderdale. More than 4,000 area restaurants. So come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Discover taste sensations, and don't forget all the great local breweries and the speakeasies, rooftop bars. There's the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail that has some of my favorite breweries on it. You can go check out what is on the Ale Trail along with the latest events and upcoming promotions and deals. Go to visitlauderdale.com, and we'll see you with Nikki Mohan of Visit Lauderdale on the 28th at Willie T's in the Cordova Shops in Fort Lauderdale.
Always a lot of fun. All right, going to come back and wrap things up here. And just Copperpoint Brewery, Boynton Beach, been fantastic. Great array of people came out to be not only on the show, but come and witness what was going on here. Great food and drink, and we'll be back to finish things off on the Monday President's Day edition of the Lunchbox in a moment.
Mardi Gras.
It's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
We're back on the Lunchbox. Mike Mayo, Jeff DeForest, and we're going to go a little bonus overtime today because we came all the way up to Copperpoint Brewing in Boynton Beach for the holiday President's Day today. It's going to be Mardi Gras with Tom T and Tom's Louisiana Kitchen tomorrow here at Copperpoint. But now I'm happy to be joined by Matt Cox. He is the owner, founder, brewmaster, jack of all trades here at Copperpoint. Thanks for having us out on the Lunchbox.
Yeah, of course.
Today.
Thanks for coming up.
Yes.
Really happy to have you guys here.
Tell us a little bit about the backstory, the history. How did this come about, and how long have you been here?
We've been here going on 8 years now. The backstory is I've been a professional brewer for 23 years now. Did it for a long time. Finally found a space up here that we wanted to open a brewery in. So, we started out with a good amount of space. We bought the building a couple of years ago. So now we have 20,000 square feet of production space here.
Once you own the building, you control your fate, right?
Yeah, so we can do a bunch of fun things with the space now. We've done more to expand outside seating and outside private venue space and stuff like that. But we like to do a lot of events based around food and stuff like that.
And you host a bunch of the food trucks. Tom T does his boils, his crawfish boils and whatnot. And I see this, the babshis. I guess, how do you find, you just kind of give people a shot?
Yeah, give them a shot. If they do well, we bring them back more often. But, have a good rotating schedule of food trucks. We probably have, today and this week we have trucks here in the daytime, but we have trucks here every single day. So probably have 10 different trucks throughout the week.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I get tremendous variety. Now, I guess every brewery does craft brewing as its own individual approach. What would you say would be one of the key ingredients to everything that you do?
Well, we do a lot of lagers here. Lagers aren't, super, people kind of stray away from them. They take a long time to do. They're, a very high skill level.
But it's the most popular beer, isn't it?
It is for sure.
Yeah, in the world. But the IPAs have gotten to rule the roost, and some of these sours.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a very delicious stout, the Nitro Stout.
Yeah, so we do a Nitro Stout with locally roasted Floridian coffee. We try to do a very wide range of styles here. We do from our Bee Squeeze, which is a light blonde ale.
Bee
We
Squeeze.
use
I like it.
locally sourced orange blossom honey from Loxahatchee. We use orange peel from Fort Pierce in it. So that one's light, blonde, clean, crisp. And then we go, all the way through the full gamut into darker stouts, 10% barrel aged imperial stouts, all that. So we do a little bit of everything, but we do a lot of lagers. Our flagship beer is the Copperpoint lager, amber lager, 6 weeks start to finish, cold fermented, super smooth, super clean.
What's your hours? You open every day, or you got some midweek days off?
We open every day at noon.
Nice. Okay, great.
And then we're typically open till, about 10 o'clock, a little bit later on the weekends.
And again, for people who are out there, might not be familiar with this area, there's a couple of breweries. One of them fell by the wayside, unfortunately. Due South is no longer with us, but
Yeah,
there's
sad
this
to
little
see him go.
brewing district here in Boynton, right off 95 just west and just off that Gateway Boulevard exit. So it's really easy to find. You just plug it into your GPS, Copperpoint. Matt, where were you before? Where are you from originally, and how did you get into beer and brewing first?
I grew up in Oklahoma City. I
Ooh.
moved down here and finished up high school down here. When I was in college, I got a job and kind of started to apprentice at local breweries around here. I worked for a little bit at Brucey in Boca Raton,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ran Big Bear Brewing in Coral Springs
Right,
for
Big
13
Bear.
years.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was
okay.
the brewmaster out
Beer
there for
cheese
13
soup.
years. Yeah, they do amazing food and really still to this day, really
That's
great
Lubie's
stuff out
neck of
there.
the woods. He lives in Coral Springs, so
Yeah,
that's a
good
good
stuff.
spot. Yeah. Well, great. So then you were able to branch out and start your own thing, which is, I guess, everybody's dream. Just again, tell people if they want to find you, what's the best way? You got a website if they want to check out some of your brews? And
We
some of the
do.
info.
The website's copperpointbrewingcompany.com. There's a beer finder section on the website. So we distribute locally and statewide. So, from Tallahassee to Key West, our beers are all over the state on draft and in cans. But the beer finder on the website is a quick, easy way to find, in your neck of the woods where you can pick up some Copperpoint.
Outstanding stuff. I mean, all the way around. Like I said, I'm inclined to drink a Budweiser, but the beer that I had, whatever the selection was, I didn't catch the name.
He's a man of simple taste. But
Absolutely
do you
fantastic.
do you have a signature lager in a can that maybe I could buy this gentleman to bring home for after his daily exercise instead of
we do.
we'll spare him from the Budweiser?
Copperpoint lager.
Copperpoint lager. I'm gonna
try it.
buy you a 6, my friend.
All right.
Because we gotta raise the bar here. We're on the Lunchbox. We're about nothing but good food and drink. Thanks to everybody who came on the show today.
Yeah, it's a wild array of people.
Tom's Louisiana Kitchen will be here at Copperpoint tomorrow, celebrating the big day, Fat Tuesday. Are we still allowed to call it Fat Tuesday?
No.
Or have the sensitivity police
It's oversized
canceled
Tuesday.
that
Yeah.
now too? It's Fat Tuesday, followed by Ash Wednesday. That's the way it is, and I will revel in it. I hope I can get back up here tomorrow because it's going to be a real feast. We've had Tom T on. We had Gary from the Babshi's Kitchen food truck is out here. The
Professor.
Caribbean Polish American truck. The Professor Ken Jacobson,
Joe
restaurateur.
Cassell.
The Foundry Joe Cassell, Man About Town, and Matt Cox, the founder and brewmaster here at Copperpoint Brewing. Wow, what a dizzying display of
That was great.
of culinary and libation talent today. That was such good stuff. Everybody enjoy the rest of your holiday. We'll see you back tomorrow. We're going to be on home base, and then Wednesday, Even Keel Fish Shack in Lauderdale by the Sea. Thursday, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Friday, Gulfstream Park. Jam-packed week. Hopefully my voice will come back. Thanks for everything, and remember to enjoy every sandwich.